I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly back with another video for you guys. And if you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video and checking out the channel. And I hope you'll stick around if you're into things like true crime, politics, news, commentary, all of this wonderful things. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. It would do us both a great favor. And if you're returning, thank you so much for being a friend to the channel. And I appreciate you guys as always. You know how much I love y'all. So guys, this is going to be a good video, I think. I hope, you know, as always. But we're going to get into quite a few different topics. It's going to be a little bit black pilling. It's going to be a little bit red pilling. It's going to be a little bit white pilling. We're going to laugh. We're going to probably get pissed off. I'm probably going to curse at some point and then apologize. You guys know how I give it up on this channel. So let's get into this first thing, guys. This is from Instagram, and we'll let this man tell us what's going on in the world of today. Okay, let's just let him speak. Okay, let me make sure it's unmuted.
What I'm about to show you is arguably the biggest story in the world right now, in my opinion, but it's being totally ignored by the mainstream media. So the United States just announced it's getting ready for a war with China and Putin at the same time for a very important reason. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin are about to completely alter the international power structure and the monetary system. This is why they're getting ready for war. No other reason. The biggest story in the world happened this week in Moscow, and your mainstream media ignored it. This week, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin signed 14 different documents in their face-to-face meeting. The biggest had to do with trade and currency. It's perhaps the biggest story in the world right now, but again, the U.S. media was obsessed with something else.
He could be days away from becoming the first former president to be indicted.
Donald Trump is under multiple criminal inquiries.
The media wants you distracted from the U.S. banking crisis and the decline of the U.S. dollar. Saudi Arabia and Iran, Sunni and Shiite Muslim, are sworn enemies. They hate each other, and yet China just brokered a peace deal between them. Yes, China did that, not the United States. And then this week, Saudi Arabia openly talking about settling their oil trades in the Chinese currency yuan. This would replace the US dollar. They would replace the petrodollar, the US dollar that we use as a hammer to sanction any country we like. If the US doesn't like you and wants to sanction you, they can, because if you want oil, you'll need to pay with US dollars to settle that transaction. Imagine if the US can't threaten you with dollars anymore. All they have left are weapons, and there's nothing more dangerous than a person losing power. What I'm about to show you is
Yikes. Okay, guys, so again, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, and I got really very black pilled last night. And I mean, I've been black pilled. I alternate between all of the pills, you know, clown pilled at times, red pilled, black pilled, white pilled, whatever, never blue pilled. Okay, but I just got in a little too deep last night. Okay, I was watching a podcast with Joe Rogan had on, I forgot his name, Weinstein, something, Brett Weinstein's brother. I forgot his first name, but it was a lot. Okay, I was on a roller coaster ride, and I've been seeing a lot of these different things, and I can't say whether or not they're true or not. I'm just going to show you guys, and I want you to formulate your own opinions on all of these matters. And y'all, let me know in the comments what you think down below. Do you think that all of what is happening is credible or not? You know, just, you know, these are things that really I haven't talked about on my channel, because when it comes to global politics and when it comes to all of the major problems in our world, there's really, honestly, if we're talking about it, not much we can actually do about it to stop it. And we are powerless in that regard, because the world is so big and it's so diverse, and there are so many different things going on I mean, it's literally too much to fathom at times. So I don't like to talk about a lot of global politics and what's going on in the world. So a lot of people will say that, like, oh, well, the trans stuff is a distraction and the Trump arrest is a distraction for what's going on because the banks are failing and this and that and China's fixing to take over the power structure of the world. Yes. Okay. I believe those things also that are possibly very, very, very likely to be true. But to me, talking about those things seriously depresses me. And it's like, so, I don't know. It's very, very upsetting because it's like, I do have a feeling in the pit of my stomach, guys. And like I said, y'all know I go based off of discernment. I do have a feeling that we are in for bad times ahead. And I say that just to, like, literally warn you, because a lot of people are very ignorant to what's going on, myself included. Like, I can also be ignorant or not, just even try to, like, delve deep into what is actually going on, because again, I don't feel like any of us can really stop it. So that's why I choose to focus more on, the United States problems that, yes, they're not as important as, like, the US dollar failing and, being replaced as the main world power, and all of these different things, like the Ukraine war being a total and abject failure and just complete money laundering scheme by our government. Yeah, it's tough to focus on those things and really give them the attention that they deserve. So I'm trying to just, take the time now to talk about it and bring some awareness, or even just start a conversation about it. So what do y'all think? Let's get into the thumbnail. This was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, this happened at a well, let's see, where did it happen? Let me see. I got some deets for you guys. Oh no, that's the next one. Where was this? Okay, in Temple Hills, Maryland, guys. This was a late night snack after the club stop, or whatever. It's after hours. Okay, trying to get some late night food in ya, and of course, what ends up usually happening is you end up jumping over the counter and absolutely obliterating these people's store. Okay, or isn't that what everyone says? Okay, no, not you guys. All right, let's get into this video, guys, and see what this hooligan was up to on this night. Let's make this big so we can see the full effect here, and I want you guys to keep your eyes, obviously watch what's going on in the video, but this guy right here, this masked up guy, normally I don't trust the maskers, okay? I don't like you people, but this guy is very much the definition of minding my own business. I mind the business that pays me. It's not in my job description. He's giving very much, get somebody else to do it energy. Okay, so just keep your eyes, divert back and forth between the situation that's happening here. This is very much like the distraction that we just talked about. This is like Ukraine failing. This is China sneaking up as the world power. This guy back here is just silently waiting, while this energy right here is like the trans agenda. This is like Trump getting arrested. So just make sure we're understanding. It's very parallel to what we just discussed. Okay, let's get into it. Oh my God! Not the door. Oh! Look at him. So apparently the backstory here was he was in the process of just trying to get some chicken and damn waffles, and he, after eating, and then apparently upon this these gentlemen trying to close up their store, decided he wanted some damn wings, and they informed the gentleman, hey, we're closed, it's a no can do. And this is what drove this young man into an utter tailspin. Okay, guys, just completely off the rails. And this is what happens, guys, when you tell someone no. When they want their wings, guys, you're asking for it. You're asking for the violence that's coming your way. And this is what you get. Look at this guy. Minding his own damn business. Ah! Oh my god! Ah! I dropped his phone. Oh no.
Oh, my stars. He didn't know.
Oh my stars! It's always the people narrating the videos for me. Let's see what he... I want to hear that again, okay? Because, yes.
Oh, my stars. He didn't know.
Oh, shit. Oh, Lord.
He did not do that.
Yes, he did do it. Oh my god.
Oh.
No, what's going to happen
Gosh.
next? Ah! Oh my god! What? Huh? So, sir? What the fuck? So now, now you have a smashed up phone and a smashed up vehicle. Okay, sounds great. Sounds real smart. So here we have the aftermath, guys. Let's get into the story. Okay. So this man is on the loose, okay? Be on the lookout. Bolo, baby, because this is what we're dealing with, guys. You know, when you get mad over a wing, you take it to their front door. You take your truck and you ram it into the side of a building because that really helps your cause. It's just the smartest thing I think I've ever heard of in my life. So that is that's the state, guys. This is what we're up to. While we have, you know, China training their children how to responsibly handle firearms, or teach them how to like river dance, or, you know, do like crazy mathematical equations, and, you know, be just pretty much upstanding citizens and hardworking individuals. We have our youth, you know, transing themselves, chasing down young women, and ramming their vehicles into the sides of buildings over some wings. And, you know, this is where we're at, guys. So just let's all fall back into acceptance, okay? Understand where we're at. You know, we are now having to get to the point of acceptance, okay? This is where we're at. So another instance that happened with another youth, guys. These are the youths of America. Let's get into this right here. A teacher at Lamar High School, which is in Houston, Texas, okay? I'm familiar with Lamar High School. This young man here, he was not happy with this teacher, this old white man who is, looks like he's standing his ground, but he's no match for this large black guy.
Give me my fucking phone, nigga. I told you to give me my phone.
Oh my god. Right in his face. Excusez-moi? So here he is. He's had his phone taken away. Probably after being told numerous times to not have it out. He knows the rules. Let's not pretend here. Our youth is, you know, they are very idiotic and they are very retarded, but they know what they're doing. They are just lost, and they are utterly in complete disarray in their mental state and in their emotional state. They are complete children in every sense of the word, and they don't know how to take accountability. So not only is he now, after having his phone taken away, which again is a normal thing, you know, these teachers have the right to, you know, make the policies in their own classrooms and enforce them. When you don't follow them, somebody's got to father this child. Obviously, he doesn't have a father at home, or else he would have never done something like this. And here he is. He gets up in this teacher's face, you know, with a menacing stance, and curses at him, calls him the N-word. And then after the teacher tries to assert his authority, tells him to go sit back down in a very calm and authoritative way. You know, he's not screaming, he's not raising his voice at this kid. He sucker punches this old man, this old ass man, okay? Just, I mean, despicable does not cover it. So these kids are so violent. I don't understand, again, I will say it, what has happened to Gen Z. It's like they're either like very great, fantastically red-pilled, like, you know, base little people, or they are complete deranged psychopaths who are violent and, quite frankly, scary. And I think we all know what spectrum, what you know, what part of that, like, spectrum he falls on. So yeah, this is just another example of what's going on in our world, guys. So let's now get back to the other topics that we're going to cover. And I want to show you guys, we're going back a little bit now to global politics. And I want to share with you guys, have y'all heard about the Pentagon leaks, okay, that have recently not really been discussed in the media at all, if I'm being quite frank with you. But if you're on Twitter and if you're plugged in, you have heard about this. Well, apparently it's not going so great in the Ukraine. So I don't know what you guys have heard from CNN or whoever else you get your news from, who would say that, like, Zelensky's this based ultra Chad, you know, war hero. But it's, you know, don't fall for the bullshit. Don't be a fool, okay? So some documents have been leaked, apparently, and I don't know if this is true. Cannot confirm the validity of these documents. Cannot even confirm the validity of this particular details, obviously, that are in these documents. There's been conflicting reports of, you know, Russian disinformation and all this irregular, everyday nonsense that they try to propagate against us whenever things come out that they don't want to take accountability for, or that they don't agree with, or, you know, things that they have done. You know, they'll just blame it on Russia. Like, okay, get a new playbook, all right? Let's just, y'all have worn that one out. So I'm going to show y'all some of the examples of these documents, but I just wanted to share this story with you guys. So the Justice Department, at the Pentagon's request, has launched an investigation of the leak and who is responsible for the intelligence breach. It is unclear, officials said Saturday, if more documents could be released or the motivation for leaking them. The Department of Defense is actively reviewing the matter and has made a formal referral to the DOJ for investigation. So, the leaks first reported by the New York Times include documents released on social media sites, including Twitter. Detailed information on Ukrainian weaponry. One document appears to have come from the Office of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It is dated March 1st and is labeled secret and not for distribution to foreign governments. It details U.S. forces in the region, on the ground, air, and at sea. The document also includes how many artillery shells Ukrainian forces have fired, including rocket-assisted missiles that have been used to devastating effect on Russian command posts and supply depots. The Times also reported Saturday that more documents had been released that show the U.S. spying on allies. What, the U.S. spying? Our government spies on people? I would have never thought that. What? You're telling me this for the first time. Oh my God. Senior administration officials contacted Saturday by USA Today called the leaks worrisome and said it's unclear if more will be released. The sources were not authorized to speak publicly about the matter. Why did the documents about Ukraine leak online? The second administration source called the leak an egregious betrayal of trust, but speculated that the information released had limited value because it is several weeks old. Okay, that old trick. Oh, these are old. These are first draft copies. We totally changed our plans. Okay, girl, whatever. The motivation is unclear, and those who spill U.S. government secrets face stiff penalties. Chelsea Manning was sentenced to 35 years in prison in 2013 for her role in leaking classified government materials to WikiLeaks. President Obama commuted her sentence in 2017. Yeah, egregious behavior on the part of the U.S. government as per usual, guys. What do y'all think about this? Let's see. I'm going to pull up the documents, but before I do that, where are they? I know I had them here somewhere. Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to find them. No, I have them. I do have them. Okay, I do have them. So let me pull this over here. But first, let's get into this. This is a good little breakdown for you guys. This is from, and this Twitter, we're going to go through this whole Twitter page, Kim.com. And again, I cannot confirm nor deny any of the claims made on this website, Twitter. And under all of these different things that I'm going to show you, these are just foods for thought. You take with them what you want to do and do your own research into all of these topics as always. But this was a very good breakdown, I thought. Okay. And I thought this was a good post overall. Very much enjoyed. Kim.com on Twitter says, what did 130 billion to Ukraine buy for Americans? Russia is still in Ukraine and winning. Russia gained 40,000 plus square miles. BRICS Plus creates multipolar world. Russia trade with China up 20%. U.S. cost of living crisis. U.S. banks failing. U.S. dollar losing reserve currency status. Good deal? Question mark. I don't think, I would say no. I would say no. It sounds like we're getting raped. Okay, which is exactly what is happening. Somebody commented on this post and said, but you know, how will we ever send more money to Ukraine? I mean, who cares about us? Think of the Ukrainians, guys. Send your money to them. So yeah, people are not happy. This person has a great point. It financed the midterm elections. Agreed. So that is that was a post, guys. That was a post that I found to, you know, it sat well with my spirit. So let's get into this now. First, I want to play this video, and then I'm going to scroll up because, like I said, we're going to go through this man's whole entire like page, like not every single post, but he had a lot of good ones, and I couldn't pick out, just, you know, I just couldn't decide. So let's start with this one, and then we're going to go and work our way through them, and I just am going to read them to you guys, show them, and I want to hear your feedback. So let's start with this.
I'm sorry, but when you have a government that's more concerned about where a hooker's money came from than concerned about where COVID came from. I mean, if you ain't waking up and paying attention to what's going on.
Oh my God.
I mean, the more they do to Trump, honestly, the more they go after this dude. I don't even like Trump. I ain't vote for him, but I tell you what, I probably will next time. Because this dude seems to be turning black. Okay. The more he does, the more blacker he seems to get. Because they keep going after this dude for nothing. Sound just like what they've been doing to black people for years.
Oh God.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If America ain't waking up and seeing the game that's going on, y'all ain't never gonna get it. I mean, they've been after this man for everything under the sun. And they gonna be like, oh yeah, well, this hooker got money from. We still worried about COVID. I mean, the biggest atrocity that ever happened to this planet since many of us have been alive, probably ever will be alive, and they not even worried about where it came from. They ain't worried about nothing to do with COVID, but they worried about where this hooker got money from. Come on, man. Wake up. Don't be stupid. Wake up, for real.
Oh. Okay, well, that is a great point, and I fully concur. So, yikes on a bike, guys. He's got a point. So, let's get into these documents. But who knows? I'm not on the ground, you know. I don't know. So, let's scroll through his page, and I want to see what else jumps out. I said this before the Russian military operation in Ukraine began. Putin plays chess while low IQ U.S. strategists play tic-tac-toe. Putin knew about sanctions, asset seizures, and NATO going nuts. He also knew the great U.S. government weaknesses, arrogance to the point of self-destruction. So this was written in last year, January 26, 2022. He wrote, "End of U.S. Empire, a thread. Vladimir Putin has ruled Russia since 1999 and is the second longest serving current European president. You simply don't survive that long if you don't have a unique skill set. That's why nobody should underestimate Putin's strategic move in Ukraine. Is it a setup? Putin has made demands to the US and NATO not to expand NATO closer to the Russian border and not to place weapon systems in neighboring countries. He counts on the arrogance of the US to send him a refusal. Putin may use this to justify the invasion of Ukraine. And this is before he actually invaded, which is very interesting. I think. Fact check me if I'm wrong. But it was right around, I think it was February that he invaded. But anyways, I continue. What if this isn't about Ukraine? The real this is really where it gets interesting. The real target may be the fragile U.S. economy. A new war in Europe will send shockwaves around global markets. The enormous band-aid of quantitative easing is going to burst. A crashing house of cards. The timing seems perfect. The U.S. is on the verge of economic collapse and has been for a while. One major upset to the markets, and the U.S. could face a depression like never before, taking the rest of the world into an economic hellhole for years to come. It seems like an opportune moment to reshuffle the deck of global politics and markets. Ask yourself why Putin would risk global sanctions for invading Ukraine. I see a calculated move. This may be Putin's checkmate to end U.S. dominance without firing a single shot at the U.S. Those who underestimate Putin make a mistake. The arrogance of U.S. empire seems blind to the enormous trap that Putin is setting. A new war in Europe will crash global markets, a crash that is probably going to be more than the U.S. can handle. Could this be the end of U.S. empire? That is very interesting. Again, just a theory he has, not even my own. These are not my thoughts, but I can see it. Listen, I can see it. I can see it. So, this guy, an EU official, said, our military support and our decision to buy ammunition together serve the cause of a just peace in Ukraine. You know what? You people that want to talk about protecting democracy by furthering war are some of the most idiotic fools that I have ever seen operate in real world my life. And so he responded to this: war is peace. You are governed by fools, and as long as you allow yourselves to be governed by fools, you are fools too. Very true. Very, very true. You better get a peace deal for Ukraine immediately, or the European Union is toast. The European Union being dissolved and toast is probably the best thing that could ever happen for Europe, honestly. Those people need to get up under the thumb of those disgusting, corrupt dirtbags in the EU, okay? England was smart to get out from under that, honestly, truly. So, okay. Let's see what else he got. Now you know why Julian Assange is still in jail. It's another interesting one. No one will be able to break Ukraine, neither from the outside nor from the inside. Zelensky today. Fact check. The U.S. government has already wrecked Ukraine from the outside, while Zelensky has broken it from the inside. What's left is a ruined Ukraine dependent on handouts, otherwise known as a welfare queen. Okay? So, let's see. I think that was pretty much it. He's got some interesting tweets, though. I would suggest it's worth a follow. But let's get into the statement that he reposted, which I thought was also very interesting, by none other than Robert Kennedy Jr. So, let me show you guys this. This was kind of in the same vein. The collapse of U.S. influence over Saudi Arabia and the kingdom's new alliances with China and Iran are painful emblems of the abject failure of the neocon strategy of maintaining U.S. global hegemony. I never know how to say that word. With aggressive projections of military power. China has displaced the American empire by deftly projecting instead economic power. Over the past decade, our country has spent trillions bombing roads, ports, bridges, and airports. China spent the equivalent building the same across, I'm sorry, yes, this is good. China spent the equivalent building the same across the developing world. The Ukraine war is the final, that is such a, I want to read that again because that is such a good point and such a haunting fact, okay? So let me read this again. Okay, over the past decade, our country has spent trillions bombing roads, ports, bridges, and airports. China has spent the equivalent building the same across the developing world. And in the process of this, you know, back and forth, we have made enemies, and people have, you know, they hate us all across the world even more than they already did for valid reasons now, not just because of jealousy, but because we have been causing destruction, war, and chaos. And then China comes in, swoops in, rebuilds their roads, bridges, and all of their infrastructure. And then they make friends and are looked at as powerful allies, helpful allies. And so now, where does that put us? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. You guys getting it yet? Okay. Let's move on. Anyways, the Ukraine war is the final collapse of the neocons' short-lived American century. R.I.P. guys. It's over. The neocon projects in Iraq and Ukraine have cost $8.1 trillion. Is this thing on? Hello? $8.1 trillion pissed away. We have a budget deficit in this country of over $30 trillion. Most of us can't fathom. I mean, none of us really can fathom that much money, and our government can't either. This is the kind of trouble that we're in, guys. This is real. Okay. So $8.1 trillion hollowed out our middle class, made a laughingstock of U.S. military power and moral authority, pushed China and Russia into an invincible alliance, destroyed the dollar as the global currency, cost millions of lives, and done nothing to advance democracy or win friendships or influence. Oh my God. This is facts. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he better watch his fucking back, because we all know what happens to a Kennedy from the U.S. government, okay? We all know what's going on if your name's Kennedy and you go against the U.S. government, okay? Please, somebody protect this man. And if you guys don't know about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., just look into it. Again, do your own research with all of these things that I'm bringing to you guys. But he is challenging Joe Biden for the Democratic nominee for 2024. I saw a very interesting tweet the other day that was he should be selected for the vice president under Trump. I would honestly love that. That sounds like one of the best ideas ever, because then we would have Trump, our, you know, conservative hero, whatever. He's like, mainly, he's really more like a liberal. They're both really like liberal populists. Trump is much more conservative than RFK is, but it sounds perfect, honestly. I mean, it just hit the nail on the head for me. So, what do y'all think about that? Okay, let's get into the next thing, guys. So some citizens who are currently also being raped by their own government, but are choosing to fight back. Let's get into the French, okay? Very beautiful people. They stormed BlackRock's Paris office, holding red flares and firing smoke bombs. Let's get into this, guys. Taking it to the
This
streets.
is just into CNN. The video you are seeing here, these are protesters in Paris who've stormed the offices of the investment firm BlackRock in the middle of the city. In the video, you can see protesters are chanting, waving flags, carrying flares. Smoke is filling the building. It is the 11th day of nationwide demonstrations against the country's new pension bill. If you're unfamiliar, it raises the retirement age from 62 to 64. It has infuriated Parisians everywhere. CNN correspondent Melissa Bell is live in Paris. Melissa, can you tell us what you saw on the ground here?
Well,
Well, this is where the main march is just preparing to get going, Caitlin. Let me show you around. The union saying just within the last hour or so that they stand united. They intend to continue their protest action. At the 11th day here, there are strikes going on nationwide, and this march will get going shortly. The government for now, Caitlin, saying it's going to stand firm. But you mentioned those images a moment ago. Those were rail worker union workers who managed to occupy that building for about 10 minutes. And it's a reminder really of what we've seen the last couple of weeks. What had been largely peaceful protests since they began in January, really turning a lot more violent and a lot more confrontational with the police. And that's something we expect to see again today. 11,000 policemen that are out across the country to try and keep the peace. But some groups determined to turn these as violent as they can. For now, we're waiting to go. The talks that took place between the unions last night and the government collapsed. Once again, both sides failing to agree, with the government vowing that it will push this retirement age up from 62 to 64 and that it will not back down even in the face of these repeated strikes and marches.
Not tyranny. So yeah, guys, you know, I love that for the French. There's one thing that the French are good for. It's a damn protest, guys. They're very beautiful people over there. We love to see that for them. I wish Americans would stop being transgendered retards fighting about Bud Light and, you know, whatever the fuck else we fight about. Race, you know, everybody's a fucking victim over here. Nobody can come together like these people know how to do. This is their 11th straight day doing this. Like, it's mind-boggling, you guys, because we're going to sit here and take it. We're just going to sit here and fucking take it from our government. You know, you realize that they're fighting against the age for retirement being raised from 62 to 64. Guess what Americans' retirement age is? 67. Okay? Jimmy Dore was showing a chart on his show earlier that showed like North Korea's retirement age is like 60. We are the highest in like the list of countries that he was discussing. And like on that list were like, you know, much poorer countries than we. I'm talking North Korea here has a retirement age of 60. US is 67. France is fighting over their retirement age being raised to 64. And here we are just taking it up the ass, no lube whatsoever, telling our government, thanks, Daddy, do it again, please. Okay, great. Oh my God, I've never wanted to like just abandon this country as much as I do in these times. But we continue to fight. I do want to show you guys this. We're fixing to get into some of the funnier things. But before we do, this was another great tweet, another good account here. Just so we're clear, the French are protesting en masse at the offices of BlackRock, and Americans are throwing their Bud Lights in the trash. Womp, womp, womp. Okay. Yeah. And you know, I was pissed off too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't agree or appreciate what Bud Light or Nike is doing either. But this is a great point. This is a great point. And again, I do talk a lot about these so-called distractions that are going on, but and I already explained this to you guys. It's because all of these global issues really they just make me want to like do things that I can't even discuss on the internet. You know, they make me just want to go crazy. And so I cannot really spend too much time on them because first of all, it takes too much to try to understand and we have to start somewhere. So you take the small issues and then you work your way up. And until I get, you know, to a point where maybe I can potentially run for office, you know, it's like we have to like fight where we can, fight the battles that we can fight. And so that's why I spend time more on the cultural issues that are rotting out our society and our culture from the inside. And, you know, leave it to some of these other people to inform about the global issues. But this was very kick. This was very funny. Great job on this tweet. You know, because Americans are utterly cucked and soyed out. We have been just completely put out to pasture, and we are marching to our own demise, guys. I mean, this is the state of the country. So, last thing I'll show y'all in global political news is Taiwan, guys. So we already know we're fighting a proxy war in Ukraine with Russia, but it's looking more and more each day like we are soon going to be fighting another war with China over Taiwan. And it appears that now China is encircling Taiwan with warships and fighters. So this is just great development. Anywho, I'm not going to read this whole article because I think you guys know. If you don't know, I'm going to link this in the description as always. But yeah, there was a map that they showed, basically just discussing all of the different strategic areas where China had basically placed military ships or other strategic military equipment and vehicles and things of that nature, and they are circling the waters. They are coming for you, Taiwan. Hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys in this country are ready, because I have a feeling if things get bad enough, there's going to be a draft, guys. We're on the brink of something here. If things play out, just right, I mean, we're looking at craziness to come. I mean, World War III, Civil War, everything happening at the same time, nuclear war, who the fudge knows, guys? But we're not here for a long time, okay? We're here for a good time, and that's what we have to remember. And who better to help us remember that than this glorious orange man? Let's get into this video here, guys, and let's let Donald Trump remind us of better times. And let's see what he has to say about none other than his foe, Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver. Rosie attacked me personally because I was very happy when her talk show failed. The other thing that failed, and this was a real monster, and everybody was suing her, was her magazine. Her magazine called Rosie was a total disaster. So I loved it. I gloat over it. I think it's wonderful because I like to see bad people fail. Rosie failed. I'm happy about it. She's basically a disaster. Well, she called me a snake oil salesman. And, coming from Rosie, that's pretty low because when you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I don't get it. I never understood. How does she even get on television? I believe Barbara made a terrible mistake putting her on, and I think Barbara's probably paying a big price. If I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired. We're all a little chubby, but Rosie's just worse than most of us. But it's not the chubbiness. Rosie is a very unattractive person, both inside and out. Rosie's a person that's very lucky to have her girlfriend. And she better be careful or I'll send one of my friends over to pick up her girlfriend. Why would she stay with Rosie if she had another choice? She's trying to use ABC and The View to get even with me. But with me, we fight back. I'll probably sue Rosie because she doesn't tell the facts. As an example, I'm worth many billions of dollars. Now, she said I was bankrupt. I never went bankrupt. So probably I'll sue her because it would be fun. I'd like to take some money out of her fat ass pockets. I actually think they ought to look at her whole life and see where she's coming from because I think she's got some very deep-seated problems. Perhaps it should be Rosie that goes to rehab.
Ooh.
Rosie is a loser.
Oh God. Savaged her. He ended her. Oh my God. He hurt my feelings. And I just don't even know what to, just thank you. Thank you for that. All I can say is thank you. And yes, I will have another of those. So just utterly, ouch. Oh my God. The way he just went in on her. I mean, I'm gagged. I'm really gagged. So let's end the video on one more Trump moment. Great Trump moment, guys. In bad times, these are the things we must remember, and we must keep these moments alive. and keep our spirits up, guys, because what else do we have if we don't have laughter and remember the good times? So let's get into those.
That, are you racist?
I am the least racist person that you have ever met.
So true.
I am the least racist person.
Are you bigoted in any way?
I don't think so.
I
I'm doing a big favor. I was just called by one of the most important people of the Middle East, and just said to me, Donald, you have done a tremendous service to the Muslims.
When it comes to Donald Trump, if you don't buy the hype, be prepared for hypothermia. At a rally in Burlington, Vermont on Thursday night, Trump was interrupted by protesters.
Get him out. Take him out. Get him out of here. Yeah, don't give him his coat.
How much fun is he having?
Don't give him his coat. Keep his coat. Confiscate his coat. You know, it's about 10 degrees below.
Don't give him his coat. What? Like, guys, and I've talked about it, we need this man back. Somebody needs to reach in his fucking body and just pull out the spirit of 2016 and get it out of him. Because what in the world? We need Savage Trump back. Orange Man Savage, where are you? Please come back to me now. Because what the hell? Like, keep his coat. Don't give him his coat. We're stealing his fucking coat. How great is that?
Below zero outside. Now you can keep his coat. Tell him we'll send it to him in a couple of weeks.
Oh my God.
Trump views the protesters as a badge of how not boring he is.
But isn't this more exciting, though, than these other routes where they have no protesters, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They go in, everybody falls asleep. They say, can I go home now, darling? And everyone leaves. And the guy's standing there, please vote for me.
The frequent disruptions came despite Trump's efforts to keep critics out. Ticket-holding attendees were asked if they supported the billionaire businessman before being let into the 1,400-seat venue. The loyalty oath screening helped cut down the crowd since the Trump's campaign released more tickets than the venue had seats. One protester told the New York Times that the line to get in the theater, quote, is like nothing I've ever seen in Burlington. Not for fish, not on free cone day, nothing. You heard it, Trump is bigger than free ice cream.
That is wholesome.
Well, Tucker, look, how different is Trump's loyalty oath from the oath that you take before you do the show?
Look at the young Tucker vibe. Okay, this is all from 2016 footage. So this is before Tucker even had his show. And these were different times, guys. But how wholesome is that, guys? Just beautiful.
Very, very similar. Bernie Sanders supporters bought a bunch of tickets. That's why Trump released more tickets than they had seats, because they were trying to make sure that it wasn't full. The point that he had a rally in Burlington, Vermont. The Vermont primary is not germane to the Republican nomination process. I don't think this has ever happened, ever. Why is the frontrunner on the Republican side holding a rally in Burlington, Vermont? I'm not sure of the answer, other than he can. It's hilarious. He's running a completely national campaign. He has not a single consultant that I'm aware of. I'm not endorsing Trump, though I'm very close at this point because it's just so funny.
Yes.
But there's nobody advising him on the process. He's just doing exactly what he wants at all times.
Now, how do you have insiders who tell you that? I've been wondering, who is it? Who makes
No, I know that for a fact. He does not. There is no one around Trump who's saying, okay, this is exactly where you need to be. This is what you need to say. I mean, a normal campaign is filled with guys making millions of dollars telling the candidate what to say and think, and certainly telling him all about the details of the process. I mean, there's got to be a downside to this at some point.
And the problem that he's having now is that he has too many advisors and not enough of just himself going back to doing whatever it is that he wants to do. That's his issue that Donald Trump's having now. And if he could just go back to his old ways, just let's trust thyself, Trump. Look within yourself and trust your own instincts, because they were hidden for something.
I'm not sure Trump understands how you get the nomination. But no normal candidate on the Republican side would ever hold a rally in Burlington 3 weeks before the Iowa caucus.
No other
that's why it's so great.
No other Republican ever could. It's not that they wouldn't, it's that they couldn't. Because no other Republican was ever as popular as Daddy Orange.
He's having so much fun. Exactly. He doesn't care. And you'd think at this point maybe it'd start wearing down. Oh, Trump can't win. No, he's loving it even more. He was riffing with the guy about get his coat out of here. He's making up the temperature outside. He was having a blast.
Wait a minute. You mean get that guy out of here, take his coat from him, wasn't in the teleprompter?
It may have been, but he's anti-teleprompter, as all Republicans should be.
Yes. Now, Jeff, you're a socialist, but you support the Patriots, so I think we're kind of even.
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm good with you on that.
Thank you.
So are you a Bernie guy?
I am an undecided guy. I'm open-minded. I happen to love Trump in a lot of ways. I love that not only is he having fun, but he was pretty clever, because if you think about, take the guy's coat, he plays to disproving global warming. He plays to the Vermont people who are more into layers than they are into coats. And he also, he just sort of, he's a bold guy. And I love the fact that he will just thrift, and he's having a great time.
He says what he feels, right, Remy? And he has a right to control who comes to his rallies, doesn't he?
Who comes to his rallies, but not what he does with their personal property. His statement was basically saying, I'm going to commit a crime. Right? If you take ownership, if you knowingly deprive the rightful owner.
Please, nobody mention this to Alvin Bragg, because next thing we'll know, next week we're going to have charges for theft of a coat, okay? So please, shut your mouth, lady.
Owner of his or her property, that's a crime. It's unlawful. If you do it with the intention of keeping it, that is not giving it back to the owner, that's called theft, right? That's not a surprise to anyone.
But these people are Bernie supporters, so we're merely redistributing.
Okay, that was cat. But it was what I was going to say was that he didn't say he was going to keep the coat, ma'am. I know we all heard him say that he was going to send it back in a couple of weeks. It's called borrowing. But yeah, let me rewind it and let her finish that statement. Look at Tucker's face. This is so funny.
Not giving it back to the owner, that's called theft, right? That's not a surprise to anyone.
But these people are Bernie supporters, so we're merely redistributing the coats to the homeless.
Yes. There you go.
The people who really need it.
Joanne, that's very, very true and impressive. Unfortunately, not a defense to theft. Okay. Even if he's going to hold on to it, as he says, for a couple of days or weeks, that's still unlawful.
But have you ever seen a presidential candidate commit larceny at his own rally? I mean, it is unprecedented. We really need to stop and appreciate this. This will never happen again in our lifetimes. Enjoy it.
Yeah, you're worried about the rule of law, but Trump's not going to care about that. And the only way to stop a bad guy with a coat is to take away his coat.
Yes, that's fearless, right? Very bold. Let's take some stranger's coat from him.
Well, Joanne, look, he went to Vermont. I think he wants to show that in the heart of liberal America, he has those supporters. That's the idea of Trump, that they're coming out of the woodwork, right?
Oh, they're everywhere, is the thing. Even in the places you might not expect them. As to why he went to Vermont, I'm not sure. Definitely, I think he wants more like Ben & Jerry's flavors, maybe, named after him. I don't know what they might be, but they would definitely be winners.
That is an idea. They should name something after Trump, something golden and wonderful, because it would sell, even though they don't like Trump. Okay, meanwhile, far from Vermont, where protesters...
So, guys, obviously, we all know, based on all of the footage we just watched, how free and fair the 2020 election was, right? Are we all in agreement that Joe Biden got 81 million whole votes? We all know this, right? We all know that, this was totally above board. I mean, my God, what are we even talking about here? So there you have it. There you have it. Let me know your comments down below, guys, because this is what we're working with, okay? We have to come together. If we don't, we're all doomed. So, you guys make your own judgments about what we just all looked at together. And I truly want to know what you guys think about some of these things, because a lot of these topics are very serious. Obviously, we had a little fun LOL moment at the end. We can always count on Trump to bring the bring the levity, bring us back to a Zen mindset. But at the end of the day, it's a Band-Aid over the gaping wound that is American future, American politics. See, look, that's the devil. The devil's a lie. He's choking me. But please like the video, guys, if you liked it. And go follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel here. Just do it. We need to keep each other informed, keep each other in the loop. We need to come together. Try to at least, can we do that? Can we save the country for the sake of our future? Or are we just going to burn it all to the ground? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, guys, I look forward to it. I really do. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.